Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Talk Show powered by Essential Print Services based on Pride Park in Derby. Hello, I am your host, Yvonne Gorman, and welcome to everyone watching live or on catch up. And as always on the Tuesday Talk Show, we would love to hear from you. Please send in your comments and questions and we'll give you a shout out on the show and we'll definitely get back to you. So this morning we have the lovely Karen Morris from the base in Derby. Hello, Karen.
Hello, Yvonne. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely my pleasure. We've not known each other very long, but this new series of the Tuesday Talk Show is all about people starting companies during lockdown. So tell us, Karen, how on earth did you get here and why do it during a lockdown?
So my husband and I had always wanted to invest in a commercial property, and I'd been training with Insane Fitness for about 3 years. So I knew the owner fairly well, and she had outgrown her current studio and was looking for somewhere to move to. And 19 Enterprise Way came along, and it was the right time. And we took the plunge, and we've now got 5 studios, treatment rooms, a coffee bar, and a kitchen. So it's kind of evolved in the last 18 months.
I know when I came down to visit you, I was absolutely blown away by what you've done with the space. I know many people within the sort of health and fitness arena sort of dream of the facilities that you've got down there. Just tell people what you've got on offer down there.
So we've got 5 studios, fitness studios, which are leased out by various companies. So we do group exercise classes, we do one-to-one personal training, and we engage with the community and have Derby County Community Trust, who have part of their health and wellbeing activities there as well. And then recently, since lockdown, we've had the studio join us for children's dance classes from ballet and dance, tap, and acro has just started. So we've pretty much got a one-stop shop for something for everybody at the base.
You really have, and you really have. If anyone wants to sort of, revive themselves or rejuvenate, you've got everything on site in one place. And just tell us a bit more about the cafe as well.
Yeah, so we opened the base bar last September, and then we went into lockdown. So it wasn't the best start, but you have to evolve and you have to adapt. And we then adapted to become a takeaway. And initially, the thought was that the coffee bar and the kitchen would be to service those people that came to the building for fitness classes or for physio and sports massage. But now we've got interest from local businesses. So we're now again evolving with a new menu, and we've got a nutritionist who works in the kitchen. And we've got a great menu that is available to anybody who wants to come into us.
So to be clear, Karen, it's open to all. So anyone passing by Stores Road and sees the base bar sign at the side, follow the signage to the base bar.
Follow the signage.
Open for all. It's not just people using the
Open for everybody.
Open for everybody.
It doesn't require any membership. Come and see us. Come and see what we're all about.
Fantastic. So it was surprising for me, Karen, and I'm sure it will be for people watching live or on catch up too, that you're not from fitness background. So tell us your sort of career journey very briefly, if you can.
Yeah, so I have worked in the HR profession for the last 20 plus years. Frightening to think back how long it is. Most recently, I was a HR director for a national construction company and was there for 13 years before we took the plunge into the base. Gosh,
and you've not done it by yourself, you've got your partner, your husband doing it with you, is that right?
Yes, my husband, he still works in construction, so he's a commercial manager for Balfour Beatty, and he supports me evenings and weekends when he's not doing his job.
So just tell us a bit more about your personal circumstances, Karen, just before you started to take the plunge for the base Derby. What was your situation like? Did you have savings behind you? Did you have to take loans out? If you don't mind just sharing a little bit more information, because I think some people think that you have to have, this huge plan in place. I'd take out a huge loan. What was your circumstances and how did you physically and practically get it launched?
Yeah, so my husband had his own business for about 8 years, and the accountant always said to us, save up enough for a deposit on a commercial property, and then that can be your pension long term. So that's what we did. We saved up enough for a deposit when we have a mortgage on the premises, and that is how we got to where we are. It made things more difficult with it being locked down. Banks are a little bit more nervous to lend money during COVID, obviously. So a larger deposit was required, but it was one of those things that we were willing to do whatever it took to get the building, and we've never looked back, and we don't regret a minute of it.
It's your accountant's fault, basically.
The accountant's fault, yeah.
Fantastic. Where did you find the accountant? Was it through a network? Was it for someone you just phoned up cold? How did you get that relationship with them?
We've got the relationship. The accountant was a family friend that we'd known for a number of years. So he'd been my husband's business accountant for a number of years, and we had regular financial planning meetings with him annually, and it came up into conversation. We always wanted to own property. We have renovated residential property in the past, and we were ready for the next stage, which was commercial property.
And why not create a space for something that you're clearly passionate about as well, is health and well-being?
Yeah, absolutely. We're both passionate about fitness and well-being, and it was the perfect opportunity to make the base into a venue where everybody can come and exercise, train, repair and refuel is our slogan.
Great slogan. And it's a good time to make the base your baby, by the sounds of it as well. All this care and all the little details you put into it, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I am a bit of a perfectionist. I'm not sure if that's a good quality or not, but perfectionist and a control freak is definitely two of my traits.
So then, Karen, what have you learned about yourself over the past year or since you started the business?
Oh, you've got to stay positive all of the time. I mean, we have been in some unprecedented times over the last 18 months. So you've got to stay positive, and I've learned that. Although I am always a glass half full, not half empty type of lady anyway. And you've got to adapt. You've got to adapt to the conditions and the market that you're in. And that's one thing that we have done at the base. All the businesses, the small businesses. I've learned how important it is that small businesses work together. The base isn't just Karen and Kenny Morris. The base is a number of small businesses, movement, personal training, insane fitness. It is the sports injury clinic, Derby, the studio. So there's many businesses that have all come together. And we're really proud that everybody is thriving from the support that we give one another.
One thing I always say, Karen, is, it's your support network that will really, catapult you to where you need to be. Definitely for someone, my advice would be for someone looking to start a business is, before you even register the company at Companies House, is to find that network, find that amazing accountant that will give you fantastic advice, find that amazing, graphic designer and printer, of course.
Obviously, yes, yeah. Great menus in the background, printed by Essential Print Services.
The menus, and I can vouch for your perfectionism when you was asking me about making things centralised. I totally get you, but I also remember saying to you, but you haven't got time to make it so perfect. It's fine the way it is. It looks great.
And does it really matter? I think that's one of the things somebody taught me in business was, yes, you can be a perfectionist, but sometimes you have to say to yourself, does that really matter? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You have to make that judgment call.
Sometimes it matters more to you than it does to the actual business and the thing that it's doing. And that's why I think it's important to step back sometimes and maybe get a second opinion from someone. It's definitely my advice. So, Karen, what is the hardest thing? I know you're a very positive person, but what's the hardest thing about running your own company?
you never switch off.
Yeah.
That is definitely one thing. You never switch off. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. You're always thinking about the business. And I know that the other small businesses we work with are exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I was the same in my previous role, even though I was an employee. I always work as if the company is your own. And yeah, it's difficult to switch off. Very difficult.
Definitely. And that's something that resonates with me as well, Karen. When I work for other people, I'd go to networking events and lots of people would say to me, this is your own business then? And I'm like, no, don't be daft. I can't run my own business. It's somebody else's. Definitely.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Absolutely.
We've got some comments coming in, Karen. I'm just going to share some with everyone. We've got Sophie Downing, the makeup extraordinaire. Morning, ladies. Loving the hair, Yvonne. Thanks very much. Oh, that's a compliment. We've got someone who has got an anonymous person here. Good morning, ladies. I'm not too sure who you are, but whoever you are, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, we've got Maria Hanson, MBE. Yes, we get some posh people on here too. Maria Hanson from Me&D Charity. Good morning, Yvonne and Karen. I will show this one, and it's not the Yvonne show. It's definitely Karen at the base show. But Maria has just said, Yvonne is like a magician with my random orders. I rely on her to put it together in the final print, which always looks spectacular. Thank you very much, Maria.
Great feedback.
Great feedback. Yes, you can come again, Maria. Next question then, Karen. When was the last time you were at the end of your tether? If you can't go into the details, that's fine. But I think the most important thing is to share how you get yourself out of that mindset. I know I've been in that situation where I've thought, you know what? What's this all bloody about? You know, I'm going to give up. What's the point? And then what's the point? Is someone doing this for? And then something will happen and you go, that's why I'm doing it. I mean, like comments like Maria's comment, that's why I'm doing it, because I know that it does make a difference and people do appreciate what we do for them. So when was your last time? You just
things can get quite stressful when you're in the kitchen and you have big orders come through, and it can get a little bit fraught at times. But you know, when people really they advertise our food, they put comments on social media and they say, you know, it's great, it was so tasty, it was fresh. That's what makes you think that was all worth it. But one of the things I thought about when I was reading your question was around when I was turning the building from an engineering company into the amazing place it is. And I'd got lots of different tradesmen that we were managing, and I was project managing the transformation, and that I was at my end of my tether a few times there. But I did have to step back, and you know, the work that was being done, the commitment by the people that were doing the work was just unbelievable. And bacon cobs and lots of cups of coffee still helped.
I can imagine, Karen. And again, just to reiterate, you don't come from a catering background.
No, I don't. So, and we got 5 stars.
I know that running a kitchen is a real skill, from knowing people who run restaurants, and they've done that all their lives and they still find it tricky. So to go into that, how did you go around organising the kitchen? How did you do it?
Well, networking, as you said. I know somebody who owns another small cafe in Derby, so I approached her for her advice. And Gail, who works in the kitchen at the base bar, is a nutritionist. So, Gail's knowledge of food and nutrition is just unbelievable. So, we're learning every day. We have food and hygiene come and inspect our premises, and we got the 5 stars, which we were really proud about. Having not come from a hospitality background to then setting up a new coffee bar and kitchen, having a nutritionist on board, having a barista on board, we're all working together to make it successful. And that is what it is all about. It's all about teamwork, and it's all about people. If you've got the right people in your business, then anything is possible.
That's very good advice, and I think that's where your perfectionism comes into play, Karen. It's where that's the kitchen. The 5-star kitchen rating surely has got to come from your perfectionism, making sure everything is right.
Yeah, probably. Amy and Gail would probably have a few things to say about that. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, if you were going into a business for something to eat, you know what your expectations would be. So I know what mine would be. I have a high level of expectation. I'm not apologising for that, because that's what brings more customers back to the base.
Yeah, absolutely. And your cake selection looked amazing.
We have found an amazing lady who bakes cakes for us, and we have those delivered every week. And then our in-house nutritionist Gail also makes refined sugar-free treats as well. So if you want a healthier treat, then we have those available too.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Get yourself down to the base Derby. Honestly, it's absolutely fantastic. We've had a couple more comments coming in, Karen, which is fantastic. From Anna, our good friend Anna Ingram. Good morning. Just want to say how interesting it is to hear behind the scenes stories about other people's businesses. It isn't always plain sailing. Oh, no, it's not. Wonderful to hear successes. Thank you, Anna. And Simon from Jack Photography. Morning, Karen and Yvonne. Nice to see you again, Karen. Oh, I'll have
yes.
You're around the corner from our office. Absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
How do you know Simon?
Hi, Simon. Simon did some work for me when I worked for the construction company. So he did a few photo shoots for me for corporate inductions and things like that. So hi, Simon. Nice to hear from you.
Fantastic. And Maria has been back on to say she'd be popping over for a coffee and probably a cake. So get the cakes ready for Maria, because she loves it. It's that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's new to the Tuesday Talk Show for Series 6. It is, let me just get my little new video. It's time to ask me anything. So this is the time of the show where our guest, the tables have turned and my guest will ask me anything. I know nothing about this question, so I'm a little bit nervous. So Karen from the base Derby, ask me anything.
Wow, Yvonne, seeing as they were talking about lockdown, I thought that we should stay on topic. So I'd like to know how lockdown affected your business, because for some businesses it's had a positive impact and for others it's not had a positive impact. And I just wondered how it affected your business and what impact you've seen that COVID has had on other local businesses in Derby.
Oh gosh, how long have we got? We've only got another sort of 15 minutes left of the show, and I want to be asking you loads more questions. Lockdown for essential print services has been absolutely, it's been rubbish and also ridiculously good in terms of, from the moment lockdown was announced, our order book was just, it just went off a cliff. It was like, where on earth is the next job going to come in? I made some very difficult decisions regarding redundancies quite early on and also way down the line. And that was tough because before COVID, my business was running very well, almost without me. I'd got to that utopia moment that many business owners want and they work hard to get to, is where they're running a business and they can go on holiday for a couple of weeks and not get bothered at all. And they get back and sales of targets have been hit. The business hasn't burnt down. It's absolutely fine. So to think that I was sort of breaking up that amazing team was absolutely heartbreaking. I can tell you there were lots and lots of tears throughout. But Essential Print Services is still here. I am now flying solo and I'm working hard using my 10 years now in business to try and catapult myself back to where we were pre-COVID. And we're on the right track. I think early part of next year, I can start recruiting again and we'll get back to some sort of new business. I'm not going to say a normality because it's not going to be normal ever again. It's going to be a new type of business, a new way of doing business. And I'm really excited about that because although I went through all the heartache with breaking the team up, I'm now really excited because I've got an opportunity to start my business all over again. And that's
a new adventure.
It's a new venture. It feels like a new venture, a brand new thing. I've got my mojo back. So although I hate COVID for what it's done, I'm also thankful for the opportunity to just reinvent everything. Like you say, Karen, adapting to the situation and using small businesses for your network and for helping. And this is why Tuesday Talk Show was born. It was to make sure people who are running their own small companies didn't feel alone. We were all going through this together, and we could all get through this together. So yeah, so great question. Thank you, Karen. But looking at the time, I want to go dive straight back into the questions and put the focus back on you, because I don't like it being on me.
I liked it being on you.
No, get it back around quick. So I know you've got a fairly new business, but is there something that you do want to change within your business, or maybe in the industry that you're in, and why?
I think it's difficult because we're within the first year of trading for us. It would be nice to be able to have turnover to be more consistent for us. But we're going, as I say, we're going through our first year of trading. So I think there's going to be peaks and troughs throughout the year. And that's something that, having not worked in the industry before, that is something that I haven't been aware of or knowledge of. So it's a learning phase, and I think that the following years hopefully will be better because of it.
How good are you at accepting advice? I mean, for instance, if there's someone watching this who's in a similar industry to you, would you welcome a call from them just to go over, where you're at, how they've done it, how you're doing it? Are you able, to collaborate and share advice like that? Are you happy to?
Absolutely. Yeah. Every day is a school day. You can always learn. And I am not precious about learning from other people. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. If anybody can offer any advice to us in our industry, then it would be welcomed. Yeah, absolutely.
That's really good to hear. Going back to your perfectionism now, what are you?
What on that?
On that. What have you become better at saying no to? I mean, I think it's quite easy for young businesses to say yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. But are you good at saying no? That's not for us. That's not for me.
No, I'm not good at saying no at all. As Gail will know, in the kitchen, we had orders coming through when we adapted to do takeaway meals. There were orders coming through our machine all the time. And I think one day we got up to 115 meals with 3 of us in the kitchen. And Gail was saying, no more, Karen, no more. Do not say yes. But we were a new business, and we did it, and we all pulled together and we made a success of it. And we'll look back on that with fond memories, I'm sure.
And great learning. What a great practice as well.
Yeah, you could call it a great learning. Yeah.
I know wedding venues who have always wanted to have weddings throughout the week. It was always traditionally sort of Thursday to Saturday sort of thing. But now lockdown's happened. They're having to cram in 2 years worth of weddings within the weeks. And now they're having really good practice runs of doing wedding after wedding after wedding. And they said, we can do it. We know we can do it now. So it has forced the issue where they might not have got to that point before.
No, it's having the confidence. And as I said before, it's having the right people. And if you've got a good team, then anything is possible.
So thinking back to when you very first launched the business, Karen, what advice would you give someone wanting to start their own company, whether it be a side hustle? And how do people know they're ready to take the plunge?
I don't think that you're ready to take the plunge in anything that you do sometimes. I think sometimes you've just got to grab the bull by the horns and you've got to go for it, and you've got to take that plunge. But in saying that, there needs to be some planning in what you're going to do before you take that leap. And I certainly think that one of the things you need to do is keep an eye on the numbers. That's one thing that I'm very passionate about, is looking at all the outgoings and the income, and making sure that you keep a control of the costs in your business, and planning.
I think a lot of people starting their own businesses are good at doing what they do. Like if you're a joiner, you're good at doing the joinery, but not necessarily looking at the figures and keeping a hold on, costs and profit. So your biggest tip there then would be to, again, make friends with a really good accountant to show you and to go through that with you, or even just, ask someone that you admire in business, perhaps, to say, can you just sit down with me for half an hour and go through this with me?
Absolutely. A cash flow forecast is just, for me, essential, really at the top for any business. And, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, is a saying that I was always told. And that is really, really important. And, I review the costs every month, and then a quarterly review to see where we've been overall. And it's really important to keep an eye on that.
So how long do you estimate, Karen, that you spend on doing those forecasts? Is it something that you spend a day on, an hour?
I think initially for setting up, you spend a day on setting the forecasts up, sometimes a couple of days, but you certainly keeping on. If you keep on top of it, it's an easy job. It's an hour here and an hour there, but it's certainly something that needs a close eye kept on it.
And do you keep, are you quite rigid with the budgets and forecasting, or do you have sort of leeway, sort of an upper bound and a lower bound scale?
You always need a contingency. That's another top tip for everybody. A contingency is required because there's always unexpected costs. But you've got to be flexible, and there's got to be that movement within your forecasts and your budgets. No business can be rigid to that, because there's so many unknowns, I think, as you go through the year.
Before we went on air, Karen, we chatted very briefly about business plans and how we feel sometimes we're just winging it. Do people starting out need, a business plan that's sort of 30 pages long? What does your business plan look like in terms of, is it something that you've stuck to? Is it something that you thought you wouldn't be able to live without? How necessary is a formal business plan for when you're starting a business?
I think it's really good to put all your thoughts on paper, because I think sometimes in your head, it's there and it's right, but to put it down just makes you think about it a little bit more. So I used to do a business plan annually in my old company for the HR team, the HR department. And I sort of used the basis of that to put the business plan together for the base. So it was quite good that I'd got that experience of it's not a 30-page business plan. It's probably 10 to 12 pages, and it's keeping it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple.
I suppose you needed one for when you're taking out the mortgage, or did you, for the business?
No, we didn't require one for the business. So we put a one-page document together of what we were looking to do and how we were looking to do it. But because of the level of deposit that obviously was paid in, the bank was satisfied that their money was safe.
When I started the business, I didn't take a formal loan out, so I didn't need to do a business plan as such, but I did still write one. And looking back, and again, that served me so well when lockdown hit, because when I looked at the figures, they were going back to the first and second years of business. I thought, right, what did I do in those first and second years that was successful and not so successful? And looking back at my business plan, I thought, gosh, I can use this document again. I've completely filed it away in the filing cabinet, and now looking at it again with a fresh pair of eyes, this business plan's really good. I've got this foundation that I can use again, and that served us really well.
And I think it makes you look at what you've achieved in the past, either 12 months, depending how you review it. It makes you look at what you've achieved and really think about that, because you're always on to the next thing as a business owner. You're always thinking about moving forward, not looking back. But I think it's good sometimes to stand still and say, do you know what? This is what we've achieved in the last 12 months. Yeah. And my husband and I did that at the weekend, and we just sat and reflected over a glass of over a Prosecco, I have to say. But we just sat and we reflected on the previous 12 months and said, actually, do you know what we've done and what the businesses within the base have done in the last 12 months, where predominantly we've been in lockdown, is just amazing. I can't, compliment the business and the other businesses within the base enough.
Celebrate the wins, I think, is the moral of the story there. Celebrate your wins, for sure. What, for anyone watching here that might be able to help you out, what is the biggest challenge in the business right now for you?
Recruitment, I have to say. I am spending more time in the business than on the business. We want to be advertising the base. We want more and more people to be coming to us and seeing what a great place we've got and great businesses we've got within it. And at the moment, we're trying to recruit somebody, I'm saying a chef or a cook or somebody that has got some experience of working in a kitchen. And it's just quite difficult at the moment. And I think it's not just our business, I think it's an industry problem. I was reading in the paper about a lot of Europeans having gone home during lockdown, and there aren't the people here to work in the businesses in hospitality.
I saw something on Facebook the other day where there was a sign on someone's door and it said, everywhere is short staffed. So for those who've turned up, please be kind. I thought that was really good. That sums it up nicely. Look, we're struggling. We've not got as many people as we thought we need. So for those who have shown up today, please be kind to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So I know it's early days for you, but clearly you've thought about the future and you've got a plan in place, or some sort of plan in place. What will your business look like when it's done? Is there a done picture in your mind?
Oh, I don't know, Yvonne. Is there a done for Essential Print? Because I don't think you can ever have a done. I think the businesses just have to evolve all of the time, because every year is going to be different. There are going to be challenges every year, whether it's a pandemic or whether it's something else, there will be a challenge faced for every business. And I think it's just a case of evolving with it and maintaining a positive attitude to be successful.
Brilliant. Before we wrap up, I just want to give a couple more comments that have come in. Anna has said, fab attitude to have, Yvonne. Maria has said, really inspirational, Karen, and such good advice. That's good. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in live. And for those watching on catch up, please still send your comments and questions. We would love to hear back from you. And if you can help out Karen in any way with her challenge of looking for some cook or a chef, please get in touch. What is on your bucket list, Karen? Is there anything in your personal life or business life that you really would love to do?
Oh, this was a really difficult one, because I know some people do have a really big bucket list, and I don't really have a massive bucket list. One thing I've always wanted to do is travel around Australia. So that is definitely on my bucket list. I think that'll be something after retirement, but definitely one for us to do. Business-wise, who knows? I don't know at the moment.
So, Karen, anyone watching this live or on catch-up, where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we've got a website, www.thebasedarby.co.uk. And come in and have a coffee and have a look around at 19 Enterprise Way. We're just off Stores Road on Jubilee Business Park. We've got our own car park, and we're open from early in the morning till late at night. Pop in and see any of us. We'd be happy to see you.
I know it sounds daft, but having your own car park is so important with your type of business. There are places out there where you have to then pay for parking on top of your exercise class or your coffee. But, you've got everything, literally everything on site, which is absolutely fantastic. And for someone wanting a quick bite to eat in their lunch break, being able to drive there, get something that's nutritious as well, and then drive back to the office within that lunch break is so important.
Yeah, or to walk across the road. We've got many offices across on Stores Road, and a number of people have come in and said, "Oh, we didn't know you were here." So I think some people have said to us, "We're the best kept secret in Derby," which I said no, but they said best kept secret in Derby. So
we don't want you as a secret. We want everyone to know you're there. So if you're watching this and you work on Stores Road or live near Stores Road, or you know someone who works on Stores Road, please tell them about the base Derby and get them to go down and experience it. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to wrap up the show, Karen. I'm going to come back to you for your final thought right at the end. So have a think about what we've spoken about. What's the main takeaway that you want readers, listeners and viewers to take away with them? So this has been the Tuesday Talk Show powered by Essential Print Services. Remember, if you want to hear here and watch more episodes like this, there are more on the YouTube channel, The Tuesday Talk Show. Have a search for that, it will come up. Press the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified for previous episodes and future episodes. So over to Karen from the base Derby for your final thought, please.
Thank you, Yvonne. So my final thought is that people are the most important asset for all businesses. And I really want people to think about that. And if you've got the passion and they've got the passion, the commitment and the drive to succeed, anything is possible.
Wow, I've got goosebumps. That was awesome. Karen, we're at the 35-minute mark, and as always, time flies by on the Tuesday Talk Show. I want to thank you so much for your time today and giving up. I know you're a really busy lady, but I wanted to share about Base Derby to everyone watching this. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching and listening. Please, like I say, please send your comments and questions. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, we'll see you next time on the Tuesday Talk Show.
Thank you for having me on. Bye.
Bye.